Hey guys, Claire here, aka The Struggling Alto, and I wanted to make this video because I have so many thoughts about the Dear Evan Hansen trailer and the movie in general, so let's get into it. Now, when the trailer first came on the screen, I did get very excited because my inner musical theater geek is so thrilled that a movie is being that a musical is being adapted into a movie. I'm always going to be excited about that. And based on what I've seen so far, I'm excited. I think that who they chose to direct this movie was a very strong choice. It's directed by Steven Shikatsky. I'm gonna put the name up on the screen, but I probably butchered it. Sorry. But I love him. I thought he did such a great job in Perks of Being a Wallflower. I thought that he portrayed high school and high schoolers in a very honest and real way. He didn't sugarcoat the experience, he didn't make it seem like this wonderful, amazing, like everything's fabulous and I'm finding myself kind of thing, but he also didn't make it seem like this pit of despair, I don't know who I am, angsty kind of thing either. He portrayed high schoolers in a fairly real way, so I think he's gonna do that with the Dear Evan Hansen movie musical too, and I'm really excited about that. So I love his style so far. I'm really, really looking forward to that. Another thing that stood out to me in the trailer was how they can potentially tell this story in a slightly different way that will enhance it. In the musical, it's really hard to show flashbacks, but in the movie, that ain't so hard. And what stood out to me was them actually showing Evan Hansen climbing the tree in the trailer. It's a lot easier to do in a movie, and I think that it can enhance the story. In the stage version, you can't do that. They talk about it, and it's very impactful, but actually seeing him climbing that tree and knowing how important it is to his character and the rest of the story is something that really stood out to me. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they'll enhance the story. I saw at the end of the trailer that they are adding a couple of new songs, which is okay, I'm fine with that because it's from the writers of the show. They're the writers from the stage version are writing these new songs as well, so I'm fine with that. And they also said they're adding new scenes. I'm also hoping they will show a sort of, like dream sequence, for lack of a better word, of Evan and Connor's perfect day. The perfect day that Evan Hansen describes in the song For Forever. They could cut to this perfect day they're having. And I think that could potentially make the story even more emotional. Or, if you don't like it, it will give it a different perspective because it's a movie and they can just try some things as long as they stick to the source material in general, like for the most part, a good amount. I think that that could be potentially very exciting. So those two things are what I'm the most excited about. Something else that really stood out to me about the trailer and that I am kind of neutral about, I'm not really sure how I feel about it, was the fact that they only played one of the songs from the musical in the trailer, and that was You Will Be Found. They seem to cut this trailer together in a very traditional trailer way, where they had one song that was like what made the tone of created the tone of the movie, and then they cut various scenes over that song. So you only really see Evan Hansen actually singing, with his moving his mouth for like 10, 12 seconds of the whole trailer. So it was really cut in a way that just felt like a traditional movie trailer. And a part of me wonders if they were trying to appeal to audience members who aren't huge musical fans. They're trying to draw them in. They're gonna watch the trailer and see, oh, there's a lot of talking in this. I might be okay with watching this. It's not too much. It's maybe they're thinking it's more like a Disney movie than, say, like a Les Miserables movie musical that's completely like sing through. So, my musical theater part wanted to hear more songs and wanted to hear the rest of the actors sing a little more and hear their voices. But I understand, because they're trying to appeal to a bigger audience than just your traditional Broadway audience members. Also, this movie musical, it's a very intimate story about a boy struggling with mental illness. It feels very, very grounded, and it's not too overly theatrical. They don't even really dance. I don't think they dance at all in the musical, unless I'm mistaken. So them, not being too musically with the trailer, for lack of a better word, is okay with me. It's also not false advertising, like they do talk a fair amount in the musical, so I think it's fine. Let's also talk about casting. This seems to be the most controversial part of this whole trailer, is the fact that a lot of people think Ben Platt is just too old to play Evan Hansen, which, yes, he's 27 now, probably 26 when they filmed this. And he definitely is too old, of course. But seeing the trailer, he's so good as Evan Hansen. You can already tell. And I have seen so many actors play high schoolers that don't look anything like high school. And in this trailer, to me, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but he looks fairly young. I thought he was going to look way older, and they did a good job of making him look younger. Ben Platt did slim down a lot, as he does for this role, and the hair they gave him, I don't know if it's a wig or if it's just his hair, I don't know, but it does look more youthful, so I don't think it's going to bother me that much. I'm willing to let it go, basically, because I do want to see his performance on the big screen. And they really did seem to honor age-appropriate casting with all the other actors, with Zoe Murphy and Connor and all the other characters. So I think I'm going to be okay with it. Is basically what I'm trying to say. I'm okay with it. Like I said, I think that Ben Platt playing Evan Hansen is going to be fantastic. I also think everyone else is going to be so good. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see Amy Adams play Cynthia Murphy, Zoe, and Connor's mother. Just in the few scenes she's in, she just is captivating me. She's so vulnerable and so emotional, and you can just see the hurt in her eyes. And, we all know she can sing from Enchanted. The person I'm most excited for is seeing Caitlin Dever play Zoe Murphy. Now, Zoe Murphy is such a great character, and I think Caitlin is going to knock it out of the park. She was great in Booksmart, but most importantly for me is her acting ability is out of this world. If you've seen the Netflix shorts miniseries, Unbelievable, she was unbelievable in that show. I recommend anyone to see it. It's a very heavy show, so read the plot synopsis before you try watching the show, but she plays such an amazingly vulnerable and tragic character in that show, and Zoe Murphy has those qualities about her too, so I think she's gonna knock it out of the park. So that was basically my thoughts on the movie and how I think it can potentially be fantastic. I'm cautiously optimistic for this movie. I think it was very smart for them to make this stage production in this stage musical into a production. I thought they'd maybe do it a little later after the hype for it on Broadway had died down a little bit more. But transferring it from stage to screen is a smart choice because in the end it's an intimate story about a boy struggling with mental illness, and being able to see Evan Hansen and the rest of these characters just front and center on the big screen, really just see their emotional character arcs close up in front of a camera, I think it'll really show off this story in a beautiful way. And I don't know, maybe this is a little bit shady for me to say, but adapting this musical for the screen isn't particularly challenging. This story doesn't really need to be performed live. It doesn't really use the audience or the stage to tell us the story. I'm not trying to be shady to the source material, but it doesn't really enhance the story to have an audience watch it. So adapting to the screen won't particularly be challenging. You know, I mean, for example, in Hamilton, they use a turning stage and the ensemble basically dances out the whole story. And like I said before, in this movie, in this musical, I mean, they don't even dance at all, you know? It's not that kind of story. And I think the fact that the only thing really that separates the live Broadway musical from a traditional movie is the fact that they are singing will make this easier to put on screen. And like, let's be honest here, they use projections in the live musical version of this. And what are projections? It's a screen, like a movie. So making this into a Broadway musical, or excuse me, making this Broadway musical into a movie isn't going to be insanely hard or challenging. So, and that's not to discredit what they're doing. I think it is still hard to do overall in general with any musical being adapted into a movie musical. I think that's always going to be challenging, but I think they're on the right track. And like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm excited. I know some people have a problem with the story in general and what happens in it, but regardless of what you think about the details of the story, it really, I think, is a very important story to tell about mental health and the struggles that teenagers go through when they are in high school and still trying to find themselves. And I mean, like, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm still trying to find myself, and I'm 29. So anyway, those are my thoughts. For the most part, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't really been able to stop thinking about it. And please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to start a conversation there. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I cannot wait to review this movie when it comes out. Alright guys, bye. Hey everyone, thanks so much for listening to my thoughts on the Dear Evan Hansen trailer. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you want more musical theater content, feel free to watch one of my other videos right now.